Hey there, Randy. Okay, so I'm doing this in my car. So anyway, so here's the problem that you gave me. And basically you got this problem factored as far as here in your email. All right, and that's perfect so far. So to do the next step, we need to put these terms kind of back together again. And so we're going to make that 3y, and then this is going to be 5y squared minus 15y squared minus y plus 3. All right. I suppose now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't have, oops, wait. No, that's supposed to be a y right here. Y. And then, so that makes this y cubed. Okay, now I'm caught up. Now I'm all golden. Okay, so I suppose I didn't have to put them back together, but for tradition's sake, I did. So anyway, now what we're going to do to factor this piece right here is we're going to do a thing called factor by grouping. All right, and so we're going to kind of temporarily put that 3y and leave it on the side for a second. And then we're going to focus on this big 4-term chunk right here, okay? And I'm going to put parentheses around, well, yeah, okay. So basically, I need to think about it like brackets. I want to be appropriate here. Okay, so now thinking about this, just focusing on this, right? We're ignoring the 3. So to allow me to ignore the 3, I'm putting it in brackets. But anyway, so I'm going to take these 4 terms and I'm going to put them into 2 groups of 2. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put parentheses around the 5y cubed minus 15y squared. And then I want to put parentheses over here, but this minus sign is going to make it a little on the tricky side. So it's going to be minus, and then it's going to be y minus 3. So now why is that? So I need to go from here to here, and we know that this is right because the distributive property, the negative times y gives me negative y, and then the negative times negative 3 gives me positive 3. So that's why I had to kind of, this negative sign kind of tricks things and twists it around a little bit. So that's why it becomes y minus 3 instead of y plus 3. Okay, so there you go. So it's minus quantity y minus 3. All right, so now I've got these 2 terms, and this is why it's called factor by grouping, because I took these 4 terms and I put them into 2 groups. All right, now I'm going to look at just this term, this section right here, and I'm going to factor out what they have in common. So that 3y and the bracket is still sitting there. And what do these 2 terms have in common? Well, they have a 5y squared in common. And if you're not sure of that, you could go up here and look, and you could see, oh, here's a 5 and 2 y's. And inside here is a 5 and 2 y's. So there's our 5y squared that they have in common. So right here, I'm going to factor out a 5y squared. And what am I going to be left with? Well, I'm going to be left with a y minus 3. So you might need to pause the video to make sure you understand why the heck I ended up with a y minus 3 right here. Now over here, I'm not going to factor anything. I'm just going to leave it alone. And because I can now see that in this chunk and this chunk, I have a y minus 3. So now I'm going to factor out a y minus 3. So I've got my 3y, and then I've got my bracket. Now I'm going to factor out a y minus 3. So if I take out a y minus 3 from this term, I'm left with a 5y squared. And if I factor out the y minus 3 here, I'm left with nothing. So that means I'm left with a 1. Because really I'm dividing, and when you divide something by itself, you're left with 1. And so out of this term, I'm left with 5y squared. Out of this term, I'm left with 1, so I put that in parentheses. So we have 5y squared minus 1. And so now that's technically the answer, although I no longer need these brackets. These brackets were just being a way to be mathematically polite, to say, we're not forgetting the 3y's. And so the real final answer is 3y, y minus 3, 5y squared minus 1. And because these three things are being multiplied, you can write these three things in any order and it would be correct. And so there is your, holy moly, there is your factor by grouping. Geez, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 steps. I mean, that's a lot of work. I hope that helps. Good luck. Feel free, by the way, Randy, contact me and go ahead and call me. Yeah, my phone number. Go ahead and call me anytime you need help. Good luck.